Hello. I'm going to start recording. So I am recording just so everybody knows. That's just so that uh, I can put this in a shared folder and then um, people can watch it or listen to it more likely later. Um, well, there's some screen anyway. So yeah, thank you all for coming. I am going to try and explain briefly the Wednesday local California Beach Volleyball Association tournament sign up. It's a little bit complex, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy. Um, so essentially, what it boils down to is for a very long time, the Santa Cruz CBVA tournaments were very popular. They would fill up really fast, and they made it so that basically many families, players, partnerships, whatever, would sign up as soon as the schedule came out. They would sign up for every single tournament for the entire summer, and the tournaments would fill up, and then they would either cancel last minute or just eat the cost, which I think is like $70 a team. And we would have tournaments where tournaments that were full, but players didn't show up, and players would end up not being able to sign up because of that. So because of that, the former tournament director Mark Hull and now Lucas Bowl has continued the policy where you can only sign up for a CBVA tournament um, 4 weeks and one day before the actual day of the tournament. So I'm going to pull up my calendar, and sort of give you an example of what that looks like. But essentially, what um, people are doing now is they will set a reminder for Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. And that Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., they'll sign up for the tournament a month in advance. The other slightly tricky thing can be that the first tournament sign up is May 14th. Some players will not be in their training groups, not start training until June 3rd. I think the first tournament is June 12th. So potentially you'll be reaching out to players in your training group, or just players, friends, whatever, to sign up with them. You can change your partner later if you don't actually plan to play with that partner. We just want you to make sure that that whoever you sign up with initially knows that you're signing up with them, with the understanding that you'll either play with them uh, or you'll change or both change, however, whatever you want to do as far as that goes. So, with that said, let me pull up my calendar. Where's my screen share button? There we go, share screen. Um, so share. So, can everybody see the calendar I have pulled up? Essentially, all I'm trying to show right now is that when we look at this calendar, um, the first day is the 14th, for signing up, and that'll be that Tuesday at 9 a.m. If we can look at it more zoomed out. So the way you get to that sign up date is you go to the first tournament, June 12th. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go one day in advance, the 14th. So then the 21st will be the day that you would sign up for the June 19th tournament. Then there's the June 26th tournament, which you would sign up um, May 21st, et cetera, et cetera. That's always at 9 a.m. So it's good to set a reminder for that. And I feel like there's something else that I was going to say about that. Good to set a reminder. Oh, there is usually the CBVA tournaments all are um, all ages, 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s. This year there is 1 week where it's or 2 weeks I should say where it's split. I think it's 12s and 16s and then 14s and 18s. I don't know off the top of my head. I am going to pull up the CBVA calendar and we can look at that together. But just be aware of that there is 1 week where um, your player's specific age group will um, not have a tournament. Um, okay. There's something else thought of while I was saying that. Does anyone have any questions on that? So the other thing is there was some confusion last year because the CBVA changed their age brackets or how they divided players into ages. They changed it into be based on high school graduation year. That shouldn't be an issue now. Essentially, when you sign up, you should be. I assume you'll be forced to put your high school or your player's high school graduation year, and that will determine what tournaments they're eligible for. Players can always obviously play up in age brackets, but you cannot play down. So, for example, 28 high school graduation year 2028 and 2029 are 14s. So that would make 12s, 2030, 2031, and I guess younger. 2027, 2026 is 16s. 2025 and 2024 is 18s. Um, that system is used by most tournament organizations, and as you get more into this, you'll find that there are a lot of different tournament organizations. I'll get into that a little bit later. But there are a few that still do it by birth date, and there's a cutoff, and you have to look it up, and oh, that's always difficult. So I'm pretty happy that the CBVA and AVP and some of the other organizations have decided to do it by high school graduation. Okay. So now I'm going to share screen. There it is. I'm going to show you what the CBVA website looks like. It's not showing me though. Okay. So here's our CBVA.com website. There is a login. There's a sign up for the CBVA. At least as of last year, it was a $35 member registration fee. That's a one-time fee that you pay for the entire season. Maybe it's gone up to 40, but I'm pretty sure it's probably still 35. Since you have juniors, you can click on juniors, but there are also plenty of adult events. If your player wants to play adult events, I recommend starting with the B level. That is the lowest level. I guess unrated, but the lowest level around here will be B level. And unless they're very experienced or older, then they could maybe play in an A level adult tournament. The adult tournaments are really good experience. It's just a little bit of a bummer for the adults if your player is just not ready at all for an adult tournament and ends up in a tournament that they shouldn't be. Okay, so then you can also click on beach. This new website is actually pretty easy. We can click Santa Cruz. And as you maybe see, there's all kinds of beaches all over the place that host these CBVA tournaments. Most of them are in this LA area, and those are essentially the travel tournaments that I talk about. So June 12th, first tournament, all age groups, 18, 16s, 14s, 12s. Looks like it's June 19th is 18s and 14s, and June 26th is 16s and 12s. So those second and third weeks are when you potentially are going to be aware of maybe your player can't play a tournament or would have to play up, which is up to them. These tournaments potentially will be very competitive. Cal Cup, I mean, I think the reason why they split the age groups is because they're anticipating being competitive. These will give bids to a championship toward the end of the season. So there probably will be some teams from down south, may and definitely some teams from Sacramento and Northern California areas. Should be high level competition in these second and third week tournaments. Then when you just get back into looks like pretty normal starting. Oh, looks like there might be a week off. July 4th week looks like it's off, maybe even another one. We get back into it. July 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st. Also notice that there are some boys tournaments. It looks like there's more than usual, or there used to be, or there were last year. That's awesome. That said, boys tournaments can get canceled because not enough boys show up or sign up. A lot of times, Lucas doesn't get signups, cancels the tournament, and then 2 to 3 days before the tournament, a bunch of boys email him and go, "Why can't we sign up for the tournament? Why did it get canceled? Blah 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 blah." And he always goes, "Well, one team signed up." So most of the boys events will probably be 16s events. Those are the ones that a few 14s end up playing in the 16s, and then there's a few 16s teams. It's yeah, unfortunately there's not as much boys interest as we would like, but we're building. We're building the boys up. Um, all right. So that was CBVA. Again, there's a login, there's signing up, there's a membership fee, those kinds of things. Just be aware of that. Potentially do that before that May 14th date. Um, so you're all ready. You'll get a CBVA player number. And trying to think if there's anything else. When you sign up, it will probably ask for your players CBVA player number, or you have to like search players, and it will ask for the partner player number. Tournament fees themselves are, as of last year, $70. I don't think they've increased them, so $35 per player. Usually the player or parent that registers pays the 70, and then you have to Venmo each other or figure out a way to pay back 35 to the other person. Um, Santa Cruz Beach Volleyball Club does not do any registration. We don't partner anybody. Um, that's just because that's the way you have to, or that's something that you have to learn as a beach volleyball player. It's a pretty independent sport. So we we really encourage players to play these CBVA tournaments. So when we get into practice on Mondays and Tuesdays, we'll ask, "Hey, who's playing?" And if someone's not playing and they want, and we'll go, "Oh, do you want to play?" And then we'll ask, "Hey, like, does anybody else want to play?" We'll do some of that. We can't, we have players that want to play, and then they email me, and then I'll email the group. But I will give you contact sheets. So ideally, you would just email the group on your own and say, "Hey, my daughter wants to play this tournament. Does anyone else want to play?" Um, and the reality is that players themselves are shy and don't want to sign up for the tournaments. They usually have a lot of fun once they play them and they start to get experience. It's always better to get experience than not. And it's pretty much always better to play, and it's a really good learning opportunity for players to sort of figure out what where they need to get better. It's a really good barometer for players. I think there was only one other thing that I was going to essentially share, and then we could open it up for any questions. So the other tournaments that are available are, well, there's more than just this, but the other sort of how do I say it? I don't want to say normal, but the other tournaments that are similarly structured, that's the word I'm looking for, are listed on Volleyball Life. So this website, volleyballlife.com, You click events, um, and hopefully it loads. You go tournaments and leagues. You can do show me everything, but for now, we're just going to be looking for tournaments and leagues. Sorry that this is taking long to load. So uh, then we can type in our zip code right here. We probably want to drill down the distance, 50 miles. I'll go search. And this website has most of the other organization tournaments that are available. So AAU, AVP, BVCA, BVNE, P1440, USA Volleyball. I'm not even sure I know what JVA is. But essentially, what you learn is that there's a lot of organizations giving a lot or hosting a lot of different tournaments. Um, and essentially, that's because there's a lot of money in tournaments. Um, and so all of these tournaments essentially will have in this area, there'll be qualifiers because all of these organizations will have national tournaments in July, usually in Hermosa Beach or Manhattan Beach area. Winning or doing well in these tournaments is how you get those bids for the national tournaments. There are also plenty of tournaments down south in Hermosa Beach and Manhattan through June and July that are open registration. All the CBVA tournaments that I just showed you, those are all open registration. Anyone can register that wants to. The only limiting factor is the ages, the way they divide the ages. Um, these tournaments and these organizations will all have their own um, membership fees. AVP last year was associated with CBVA, so there was one membership fee. I'm not sure if that's still the case. AVP has changed ownership 3 years in a row, and it's pretty unclear what's going on. So you can email me and if you're curious, and I can double check for you or figure it out. Or if you figure it out, let me know. Um, I think there's a like a higher level AVP membership that also gives you a CBVA membership. So yeah, see, there's tournaments in Santa Cruz on May 19th. There's tournaments in Half Moon Bay. Um, there's a decent amount of tournaments. And these, like I said, these are usually qualifiers. You should also probably check the age groups, right? So these Half Moon Bay doesn't have a very big beach, so they probably don't have enough courts to really have more than a certain amount of under 14U teams. Also, if for some reason you're looking for boys, good luck, it looks like. Sorry. And this goes into the fall even. So beach is for sure a year-round sport now for anyone that is interested in being a year-round beach athlete. That's what we train here at SC Beach. And if you have more questions about that, we can talk another time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about volleyball life. Not that I can think of. Just be aware, like I said, that the different organizations have different membership structures. And also, some of them may have different age brackets. I know BVNE in particular does it by birth year. They also have um, tournaments for every age group. So it goes 18U, 17U, 16U, 15U. They're trying to not bunch kids up so that the a 15-year-old is always playing with 16-year-olds and maybe is a little bit further behind. Kids develop pretty quickly in a year. I think that's it. I'll stop my sharing. Um, that's all that I can think of. I'm pretty sure that's all I had planned. Just double check real quick. CBVA, blah, blah, blah. All right. So now I'll open it up to any questions. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. Like I said, questions are almost always super helpful. There's almost always someone else that has the same question. Um, and again, it's hard for me to explain everything, remember everything, because most of it I know at this point. And this is super important for me. Educating parents is really helpful. That's something that can help everyone just understand, how year round this sport is now. Oh, I guess the one other thing to mention briefly is there are now also, to go with the year round theme, there are club versus club tournaments. So those are played in a collegiate format. Um, 14U and 16U is usually three teams versus three teams. So that's when we do those tournaments. That's when we would partner players, and work, sort of go as a full team of six players in a 3v3 situation. For the 18U, it's usually 5v5, and that what that does is that follows the collegiate format where three of our teams or five of our teams play all simultaneously, and we need to win two of those matches or three of those matches, depending on the age group and amount of teams, to win the duel, as it's called. They're really fun tournaments. It really gives beach volleyball that team feel that it doesn't always have compared to indoor. I think that's one of the reasons players like indoor sometimes more than beach. So the club v club tournaments are definitely encouraged. I definitely am going to try to host some in the fall, and we'll probably go to Sacramento at least once to play in one, hopefully two. Um, that said, they're also good preparation for collegiate, their collegiate format. So getting used to that format is definitely a good experience for anyone that thinks they might want to play collegiately or anything. All right, questions, please. If anybody has them,
I have a question.
yeah, please.
If my daughter signs up and doesn't know anybody or doesn't have anybody paired up with them, like,
Mhm.
do they just automatically pair them up with
No,
somebody?
no.
No,
So
you have to get somebody.
you have to have a partner in order to sign up. So
Okay.
one of the benefits of being in one of our training groups is we will send you a contact sheet of everyone in
Uh-huh.
your training group, and then you can sort of send an email out to essentially everyone and say, "Hey, my daughter would like to play X tournament. Is anyone available? Would anyone else like to play?"
Okay.
Over the summer, as they get to know each other, they become friends, and they sort of arrange it a little more. So some of those
Right.
July tournaments, it'll be easier. These initial June tournaments are a little harder sometimes for players, but we
Okay.
still really encourage them to play, and just start getting the experience.
And one more, sorry, it's
Yeah.
4 weeks prior. So like say if on the 14th that it's 4 weeks and a day later that they do that next tournament, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So May 14th is the first date to sign up.
Okay.
And we encourage parents to essentially set a phone reminder, a weekly
Mm,
reminder for 9 a.m. on Tuesday, starting May
okay.
14th and then May 21st, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Of course. Any other questions? There's no way I was clear enough.
Yeah, hey Ivan, this is
Yeah.
David. Could you run down the high school graduation years and then the corresponding 16s, 14s? I think I heard graduation year 26 and 27, that's 16s.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And then
24, 25 is 18s. 26, 27 is 16s. 28, 29 is 14s. 30, 31, 32, et cetera, et cetera is 12s.
got it. Got it. No, thank you. I thought I heard that. I just want to verify.
Sure. Anybody else? Questions? These questions always encouraged.
I have just a one question that
Sure.
I came late. The recording, will you share that with all of your people on your email?
Yes.
list?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in a shared folder. And yeah, I'll share that. I also have a travel tournament one of these that I did. And that's in that shared folder. So I'll probably direct everyone to both. Just so yeah, if they have any questions. Obviously, if anyone has any questions, you can always contact me. The quickest and easiest way to contact me is email contact@scbeachvolleyball.com. I usually respond within 48 hours. Text and phone, I'm not quite as good at, but I respond pretty quickly on those as well. All right. Last call for questions. Anybody else got anything for me? Well, thank you everyone for, oh, hi Jasper. Thank you everyone for coming. Appreciate it. I will send out the recording. I'll put it in the shared Google Parent folder and send that out. Again, if you have any questions, you can always email me, contact@scbeachvolleyball.com. I did send out earlier this afternoon an order form for the Lululemon gear. I haven't sent it to all of the contact lists, so if you haven't got it yet, expect it tomorrow. Google sometimes is finicky about me sending more than 500 emails in a day or whatever. So I'll be sending more of those tomorrow if anybody's eagerly anticipating their Lululemon orders. All right. Thank you all. We're gonna have an awesome summer. I'm super excited. We got a lot of kids this year and just keep growing and growing. So thank you all very much for all the work you do, of course. Really appreciate it. You know, I couldn't do what I do, and none of the kids could do it without the parents. So we really appreciate all your hard work getting them to the beach, getting them signed up, all those things. I know it's a lot of work. And yeah, we appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Ivan.
Thanks, Ivan.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.